What's going on, YouTube? Today we got NBA star gets exposed as Michael Jordan hater, man. Yeah, I don't know what this is yet. Let's get straight into it though, man. The last Michael Jordan reaction gonna be on your screen at the end of the video.
Draymond Green over the past couple of years has gone from a full-time NBA player
Mr.
and
Draymond
all-star to a part-time NBA player who's also a podcaster and a LeBron James superfan. This right here is by far one of the weirdest career arcs I've ever seen. As back in 2016, versus the Cavaliers and LeBron James, this guy's getting technicals, being ejected, and going all out to beat him. But now in 2023...
It's competition. It's competition, my brother. It's competition.
Fist bumping, laughing, high-fiving, while playing on the court against LeBron James. It really is an open secret at this point. Draymond is a glorified member of the LeBron James fan club with...
In Atlanta, 38th birthday. To go out and have a performance, he had 47 points and a triple-double on your 38th birthday? And your body's supposed to be like killing you at 38, not 47 and a triple-double with it, and a win on the road.
LeBron James at age 38 in his 28th year has by far the best longevity I've ever seen. And for a 38-year-old, he's far the best player at that age.
You definitely do.
Now, in terms of adding context, once again in 2023, being 38 is not as old as it used to be. As looking around the NBA, someone like Steph Curry is nearing 35 and still averaging 30 points on 50, 40, 90 splits.
That's a fact.
And even Kevin Durant at age 34 is averaging 30 on 56, 38, and 94 splits.
That's a fact.
Back in the day, 20, 25, 30 years ago, when you were 34 and 35 years old, your career was effectively over as an NBA superstar. But due to advancements in science, medicine, and overall society, guys now in sports can play much, much longer. And looking past advancements in sports science as well as medicine, the game on the court in 2023 is far different than it was 25 years ago. As right now teams are averaging 113.8 points per game, the highest since 1970. And looking at offensive rating league-wide, our average is 113.6, on pace for the highest above 115 points per game. To clarify how crazy those numbers are, looking back at 1998, Michael Jordan's last year in the NBA, teams that year were averaging 95.6 points, and the highest scoring team in the league was the LA Lakers, who averaged 105.5 points. That Lakers team in today's NBA will be 3 total points behind the worst scoring team in 2023. And adding even more context, I'm sure you guys
think about that. Like, Michael Jordan numbers today will be definitely inflated, bro. Definitely inflated, you know. You can add a little 10 points on there, you know, from what he averaged. So, about 40, maybe 45.
Notice scoring this year is absolutely absurd for individual superstar players. As right now in the NBA season, about halfway through it, there are 34 players who have scored 40-plus points. In 1998, for the entire season, it was only 15. And looking at 50-point games, in 2023, there's been 10 guys crack that mark, compared to 98, where there was only 3. And even more insane, right now for the NBA, there are 55 players averaging 20 points, 20 players averaging 25 points, and 7 players averaging 30 points. Compared to 1998, where there were 18 guys averaging 20, 3 averaging 25, and 0 averaging 30. I really don't know what the answer is. Is offense so good? Are the rules so bad? Is it too many three-pointers? Quite frankly, I have no idea.
It's a combination of a whole bunch of things,
basketball and awful defense. All I know is I'm tired of teams scoring 130 points, 140 points, and I desperately want to get back to when teams are scoring 100 to 105 points.
To get like that, you probably gonna have to make a 3-second rule come back in effect. All that, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I don't watch basketball. I can't talk too much on it. I'm not even gonna give a take because I don't even watch basketball full game, so I don't really know.
I still say, and I stand by this, with 20 years in, to still be competing at the same level, obviously it's not the exact same when he was 22 or 26 or 30, whatever. But to be competing at such a high level in year 20, that has to count for something.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Yo, Draymond, that's what I was saying, though. Come on, that has to count.
I have no problem with Draymond Green complimenting LeBron James and giving him his due credit. But when it comes to these two guys, it seems like Draymond is going way over the top every day, every week. It seems like every podcast LeBron James is brought up constantly. For two guys who are so-called rivals, this is something that is pretty odd in the modern NBA, as players 20 years ago, even 10 years ago, would never do this. Can you imagine Charles Oakley back in '94 talking about Scottie Pippen and praising him weekly? Or someone like Kobe gushing at Steve Nash and his MVPs and the high power?
You can't really, that's a bad comparison. You're trying to make it worse than what it is, okay? You should do it like the other way around. Like, say Steve Nash was congratulating Kobe for going crazy or something like that. Or
Oakley back in '94 talking about Scottie Pippen and praising him.
Never mind. I'm
or
fake
someone
chatting.
like Kobe gushing at Steve Nash and his MVPs and the high-powered Suns offense.
I'm chatting.
I could never imagine those guys complimenting players who are their bitter rivals. And when it comes to NBA today, it's a big-time problem nobody wants to acknowledge. As back in the day, we had the Celtics versus the Lakers, the Pistons versus the Bulls.
Yeah, it's not competitive enough, man. It's definitely not competitive enough. Most definitely.
The Knicks versus the Bulls.
The NBA don't even allow it, though. They get in the court, they talk a little bit, check, get out of here. What the hell is that, man? Let them talk, man. We got talk. Trash talk a part of the game, too.
Spurs versus Lakers, and so on and so on. I'm not saying players back in the day weren't buddy-buddy and they weren't friends, but what I am saying, when they got on the court, it was cutthroat and was pure business for someone like Bird, Magic, and especially Jordan. And looking at Draymond's last point, regarding year 20 LeBron James, he asked, does it count for something LeBron is this good this late in his career? It's definitely a fair question, but in return I'd ask Draymond, does LeBron's failures in year 20 also count and value into his resume? Because as you guys know, it's not only the positives, but also the negatives that value ranking all time. And when it comes to Lakers, LeBron 100% had a hand in building this roster and constructing this team.
We don't care about
my overall point
his
being,
GM things, though, bro.
The positives in year 20, we're also counting the negatives and weighing them just as heavily.
I was talking to Bob Meyer.
But the negatives are the losing season. That's really the negatives, bro. And you know, all the media, that's the negatives. The negatives is political stuff. Like, besides the losing seasons, that's what I'm saying. Besides the losing season, all the other negatives is political stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, whatever. That's cool. There's a whole bunch of positives, though. You know? Whole bunch of positives, man. But big free record, you know. You know what I'm saying? Chill, bro.
LeBron's dominance, Steph Curry's dominance, and the Warriors' dominance. The era of basketball that we've had the opportunity to play in will go down as one of the all-time greatest eras of basketball. And I am honored to have played and be playing in this era. I know we always talk about eras and everybody, oh, this era is soft and blah, blah, blah. To be playing basketball in this era is absolutely insane. And
now, when it comes to basketball in 2023 and looking at this era, 20 years from now, I really think people are going to look back at the 2010s, late 2010s, and really value that era and appreciate it greatly. As when it came to overall rivalries, which are highly important, the Warriors vs. LeBron era was simply exhilarating. As around 2017, when the Cavs-Warriors rivalry finally peaked, it was LeBron vs. Curry vs. KD, you had Kyrie, Kevin Love. It was highly anticipated and must-see TV. as in that year's finals,
Definitely, though.
an astounding 20.38 million people watched that series, the most since 1998.
Again, I take my hat off to LeBron for what he's done, for what he's doing, on and off the court. There's never been a better face of the NBA, and I'm not sure there ever will be a better face of the NBA. Absolutely amazing. Salute, my brother.
Now, this right here, Draymond, is LeBron fanboying 101.
Nah. That was definitely some fanboy shit, but you know what I'm saying? It is what it is,
great
man.
for the NBA and vastly important to the game's growth. But when it comes to being the best face of the NBA, LeBron James is simply not that. As looking at someone like Jordan back in the day, in the early 90s, the way he blended off the court activities and on the court with commercials, endorsements, and taking the game global, there is yet to be a player who rivals that impact from a league perspective. And looking at the so-called Jordan era in the 90s, the NBA at that point was more popular and profitable than ever. As when it came to the NBA Finals, 5 out of the 6 highest-rated finals came from Jordan's Bulls in the 1990s, compared to LeBron James, who has 2 of the lowest-watched finals in NBA history. And going full circle with this video, looking back at Draymond, when it comes to the modern NBA in 2023, his head 100% is in the sand, as he believes his era is the best at literally everything. And when it comes to LeBron James, there's been a weird development in Draymond being Nick Wright 2.0 with the crazy off-the-wall takes regarding LeBron. It definitely is pretty odd seeing one of LeBron's bitter rivals give him compliments daily, weekly, and monthly, but at this point in 2023, what do you expect from the modern NBA? As always, thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time.
And that's the end of this one, y'all. If you enjoyed this Michael Jordan reaction, man, make sure you click on the last Michael Jordan reaction on your screen right now, man. Roll the 5 bands, turn on post notifications, and I'm out of here.